the fact that with Videotion you can get a personalized, secure, reliable experience for effective collaboration. And that will happen in real time from any place and on any device, because we have tried to keep the browser as our abstraction layer so that we are not caring about the operative system underlying. Could be Android, could be Windows, could be Mac, could be Linux, you name it. So we are keeping it up to a level where we are trying to embrace as much as devices we could do today. Videotion is a cloud-based meeting space that we tailor exclusively for the audience. So we listen to you, we listen to where your branding and identity needs are, and we put together an environment that you can reflect your brand and present and qualify your business effectively. We have started with Videotion a year ago. 2 people, 2 senior professionals in the telecommunication decided to put together something that they saw missing. And we went through this path up where we are today, where we can provide you a global infrastructure where you can reliably have a real-time communication over the web and more, up to the point that today we can easily provide you screen sharing capabilities, file transfer, all done through the WebRTC data channel and more. Okay, so we consider this kind of a track record. We are going then to Paris in December, so we also be represented in that community. There is a lot of hype around the business value and the business potentiality of this standard. We think that we really got something, because we can really now try to provide these services just using open standards. So trying to get rid of proprietary protocol, and especially in Videotion case, we are not using any MCU. We are just going straight peer-to-peer. There where we got the limitation, because we are recommending up to 5 participants, but we could even go more in case the network could allow that. So we saw that there was a gap that we needed to fill, and this gap was the lack of a simple and easily accessible cloud service where people could interact, present, and transfer their preferred content in real time to every single or to all meeting participants. So Videotion, what it is, it's not an application. You do not need to download anything. You do not need to install anything. You do not need to register. You do not need to log in. It's like when you go and buy your telephone. They'll give you a number, right? From that moment on, that's the way that you tell the other people to connect with you. Hey, this is my number. Call me when you need it, or whenever you have some things that requires that level of communication. So we do not have any specialized hardware, as well as Videotion is a software as a service that is running completely in the cloud. And we are using a kind of innovative way to architect this cluster of services, because we are using 2 big cloud providers, both Microsoft Azure as well as Amazon Web Services, because we want to sit on top of them and make sure that we can be reliable and provide also that redundancy that you need when you are running your business, also on a global basis. If you look at the core features, we have several things that we already presented to you 6 months ago, but we have added more. For example, the screen sharing, we didn't present that 6 months ago, as well as the file transfer. Today we had also this secure file transfer through drag and drop, very easy. You just take the file, you drop it on the top of the participant's video, and the transfer is starting. Videotion is also a service that, being an horizontal one, because communication, every business needs to communicate, can be applied to any industry. So like in this case, you can see all these different scenarios where you can really deploy Videotion. So we think that there are infinite use cases that WebRTC is enabling. Videotion is not just WebRTC, but WebRTC is the glue for more services. The business model is quite simple, subscription-based. We have this concept of average revenue per room or per digital meeting space with a flat monthly fee that is the result of applying several discounts depending on the geography, the industry, the number, the volume, and the commitment, as well as the payment terms and the sales executive a discount on that. I think that we compare for what we could do today with WebRTC very well if compared with what you could call traditional provider of these services. For sure, being Videotion, a business-oriented service, is not, we do not want to compare with consumer-based services. In a nutshell, Videotion, as you can see from this slide, and tomorrow morning, I'm very happy to tell you that I'll be together with Matthew Odgons from Matrix, delivering the open source option section, where we are trying to share with you our best practices so that if you want to either get inspired or just understand how we're doing things, we could go a little bit more in depth on that. But you get an idea here, right? We got a cloud infrastructure that is mainly our infrastructure as a service delivered by Amazon and Microsoft. We use GoDaddy for all the domain naming certificates. We use Nexmo for the SMS integration. And then we use both Linux machines and Windows machine as clusters that are allowing us to deploy autonomous instances wherever in the world. Videotion has no database, so we can really deploy a single instance on Videotion in seconds. And that instance can really run wherever on 24 different data centers around the world where Amazon and Microsoft are present. In terms of deployment, we are really at low level. We are just going script. We do not use any control panel. That's why we can guarantee that we can deploy a new instance of Videotion wherever in the world in 10 minutes, assuming that we have an instance active where we can deploy Videotion. As a development, this could sound strange because we are using on the application stack all open source, but on the development stack we are using Visual Studio and TFS Foundation, and we are finding that incredibly effective for us to manage all the source and manage all the releases and the change sets in a very effective way. And as last you see in the solution, you can see that we are using 100% open source technology. So it's Node.js, Express, AngularJS, HTML5, and EasyRTC, our best friend here in this community. I'm quite sure that you talked with Doug, and they were the ones that help us enabling this deployment and this development really shorten in few months. What you see today is the result of a year of development in stealth mode, and now we are out with a product that is production ready, and we have several customers in trial that are trying this all over the world. As the last point before we change gear, you see the open authentication on the bottom right. We have been able to authenticate and to integrate with all these authentication providers to guarantee also that level of capability whenever you need it. Now, this seems to be a presentation, right? But in reality, this was a session, a WebRTC session that I was running with my colleague from the Netherlands. This is George. So George was doing all the work for me. As you have seen, I haven't touched a single button on my tablet, because George, being the owner of the room, was able to drive the experience. And this is something extremely important. You really want to have someone that can control what's going on. So like in this case, I'm the guest in this room. George is the owner. He can control the information that is flowing. Like in this case, we just needed to have a presentation done to you. He helped me doing that. We worked as a team. Now it's time to talk. We are just in audio-video mode. That means we can concentrate on the communication. We can do a lot of things. For example, George, as you can see, is changing the layout. But George, could you please show for us screen sharing? Show us something that you got locally that I cannot see here. And you see, George can do that very easily. We are using a Chrome extension to do the screen sharing. And in this moment, he's sharing us a Word document, right? And what I could do, I could either go full screen and enjoy maybe whatever George has to tell me, and watching that screen sharing full screen on my side. Now it's an Excel document, maybe it could be a Word document, a PowerPoint, a local application, a terminal session, whatever you need. We are doing this very easily. We do not want the customer to think about technology. We are not talking about SIP, IMS, anything. We want to listen their needs and put together an experience that they can start using from time zero. That's why Videotion is here, not to talk technology, but to enable business. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Really, thank you.